Oh, this is the big one. Today we're going to do Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. I'm going to talk for a little bit, then we're going to do a lot of listening. First off, if this record is not in your collection, that is a problem. If you do not know this record top to bottom, you are not an actual fan of soul music. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that. And there is a hole in your music education. This is one of the most important records of all time. It came out in 1971. It started because Obie Benson from the Four Tops had witnessed basically a student protest or something that I think in Berkeley or whatever, and he had been talking to Al Cleveland, who was a Motown writer who had written songs such as Second That Emotion, and they started writing something, and he presented it to the Four Tops, who didn't want to do it, and he gave it to Marvin, who just took it to another level. He rearranged it, he rewrote the melody, he added a lot of new lyrics, and it spurned the whole record, What's Going On, which is an actual concept record, and it is so deep. Smokey Robinson told me that he visited Marvin while he was writing it, and Marvin just said that he wasn't writing it, God was writing it, and he was just channeling it. And if you know the record, it makes a lot of sense. So Chet Forrest is playing the drum kit. Jack Ashford is playing percussion, additional stuff. Eddie Bongo Brown on bongos and I believe tambourine. James Jamerson on the bass, and we are going to pay a lot of attention to James at the end of this. Robert White is playing his Gibson L5 acoustically, and then Joe Messina is playing an electric guitar. Marvin is playing the piano, and Eli Fountain is playing the saxophone, and then there's strings. I'm just going to throw faders up to start off, and we're going to listen because reverb is such a big part of the sound of the final mix. I want you to hear it without it first to hear how important that element is to the mix. Here we go. That's dry.
There's too many of you cry.
Let's put the reverb in so you know what you're missing.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you die. You know we've got to find to bring some loving here today. Yeah. Father, Father, we don't need
Now we're going to take the reverb off. And if you're young and you don't know, this is written in the context of the Vietnam War, which were incredibly turbulent and divisive times. There isn't anybody who didn't have a friend serving over in Vietnam at the time or who hadn't served, and everyone surely knew somebody who died over there. And there was a lot of protest and upheaval around it. And there's a lot of reference to that in the song. So there's an alternate. Marvin had been playing with the melody, and here's the alternate melody that did not make the record, if you're curious.
Oh, mother, mother, there's too many of you. Brother, 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 there's too many of you. Find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, Father.
has a very different meaning with song-wise with that melody, and I don't know how much of that was Obie Benson's original melody, but I really believe, and I don't think it's just familiarity, that what we wound up with is the right choice. Let's listen to what the drums are doing on the song. A lot of leakage in that small. This is in Hitsville Room A. And here's the Jack Ashford part. And Eddie Bongo Brown's part. You put them together, and you add a little reverb. Here's the reverb. And then put some Jamerson on top of that. What's Robert White doing on guitar? Again, that's just a microphone on his L7. And then Joe Messina doing this. Nothing fancy. It's a rhythm part. He's playing a rhythm. Marvin playing a very simple piano part. Basically just a counter melody. And the always slightly out of tune Motown piano. Very simple piano. But it adds an essential layer. So, okay, I want to dedicate the rest of this to Mr. James Jamerson. As I recall, the story was they needed a bass player on the session. They found him in the bar. He was so drunk he couldn't stand up. So he was lying on the floor, and I believe somebody was holding a chart over him. And if you know anything about James Jamerson, he would just play with the one finger, which is, when you listen to this, it's going to blow your mind. And the fact that he was so drunk he couldn't stand up, and this is a solid take. Absolutely one of the greatest bass players of all time. And if you are an aspiring bass player, this is the song to study. All right, I'm going to shut up. And all we're going to do now is we're going to listen to Jamerson with the drums kind of quiet.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll bring the melody in just so you can hear what it means.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you to cry. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you die. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Yeah.
bass players of the day would call this feel and style boogaloo. Nothing to do with actual boogaloo, it was just called boogaloo.
Everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply 'cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find a way. Bring some understanding here today. Oh, oh, oh. Make it loud and make it sound. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so you can see what's going
Which means a lot of chromaticism with offbeat rhythms, syncopation.
Right on, baby. Right on. Right on.
By the way, bass is the most important instrument in the band. Seriously. Nothing dictates the feel more than a bass.
Right. Right on.
And it dictates what's going on harmonically. If you're a bass student, have your teacher explain what all that meant to you. There are all the best bass players had Jamerson as one of their main influences. Some people consider this to be the best bass track ever. I do. You don't have to agree, but if you don't agree, you're just wrong. Sorry. Anyway, I am out of time, and I hope you got a lot out of that, because that's hallowed ground. That is the holiest of holies in soul music and in bass playing. And I hope you have a great weekend.